course, it wasn't enough to top the Kansas City Chiefs as they beat the Eagles 38-35. Now, Hurts took a huge leap last season, going from being a quarterback with a murky future to an MVP candidate, conference champ, and one of the highest paid players in NFL history, being tied to the city of brotherly love for years to come. Stephen A. Smith. Will Hurts be better or worse than last season?
I believe he'll be better. I believe he'll be better. In part because, and Doggy, you should be able to appreciate this because you're so critical of folks. So critical. I don't know where you get it from, but you're so critical of folks and you don't give credit where credit is due to character. Character. You want to do it what you want to. You want to do it what you want to do it. I will remind you, this man, Jalen Hurts, the same dude that had such a god-awful performance in the first half of a national championship game. He got benched by Nick Saban in favor of Tua Tagovailoa, and that's when we learned about him because he threw the touchdown to win the national championship over Georgia that year. Okay, then he goes to Oklahoma. A couple years later, he takes them to the playoffs, but we're still looking at him and we're saying he's not really a quarterback. He's just an athletic dude that plays the quarterback position. He's got to really, really work on his passing ability. What does he do? He comes into the NFL as a second-round pick, and before you know it, within 2 years, is an MVP candidate, clearly the best quarterback in the division, all right, the NFC East, better than Dak Prescott, okay? What did he throw for last year? 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, complete 66.5% of his passes. Balled out in the Super Bowl, I might add. Would have won MVP if the Eagles had won that game. It was a winnable game, okay? It's a high-character dude, works on this game in the offseason. We see a completely different version of him. So he's improved. So from that perspective, I believe in him. Then he's got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard and the crew, okay? Then you got a defensive cat that can get to the rush, okay? You got Carter, who you just drafted with the other cat from Georgia. You still got Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Suspect at the secondary spot, nevertheless, I understand that. But ultimately, the point that I get to lean on is it's going to happen by default. Yeah. Who the hell is in the NFC? The fact of the matter, Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Jared Goff, Derek Carr. Tom Brady retired. Drew Brees retired. Aaron Rodgers left to go to the New York Jets. He's in the AFC. Okay, Geno Smith had a nice year. Very, very good year. Very impressed with Geno Smith. All right, but we'll see whether or not he can duplicate that. San Francisco. They lost 4 quarterbacks, and they lost 4 quarterbacks in one season. I've never seen that happen before. Brock Purdy is good, but do we think that Brock Purdy is better than Jalen Hurts? No. Do we think that Trey Lance is better than Jalen Hurts? No. Do we think that Derek Carr is better than Jalen Hurts? No. How about Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Jared Goff? Do you think that? No. But Jordan Love, and damn sure not Dak Prescott or Daniel Jones. All I'm saying is I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. Will he be better? The answer will be yes. He will exceed what he did last season statistically. And the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl.
See, that's what he likes to do. He likes to take a question, change its framework to set up his little monologue for 4 or 5 minutes. The question wasn't if he's the best quarterback in the NFC.
I noticed
the question was, is he better than he was last year?
And I
took the exact opposite.
He was arguing about the other quarterback.
That wasn't the question,
who
Steve.
cares? That wasn't the question,
Jared Carr, who cares?
It was.
That is whether he's going to be better. You're going to be better than these guys.
Excuse me, I know what those dissertations you gave in the first block. You ain't talking about me.
But sometimes you got to make it a little bit more.
You need to stop. The fact is, I answered the question. I gave a little extra sauce. I gave a little extra sauce. But I did answer the question.
I wasn't doing the same thing about Jonathan Taylor.
All right.
You're right.
He was good on Jonathan Taylor. He's the expert.
I didn't say he wasn't good. I said it was a dissertation.
And how dare you sitting there saying that I assailed his character? If you listen to the radio show, I went on and on and on.
I didn't say you assailed it. I said you usually don't. You usually hold people accountable for lack of character.
Not him.
I didn't say him. I said, but now it's an opportunity to elevate his.
He sat on the bench the whole year, and then Tua got hurt in the Georgia game, and he came in and won the game. He's a classy kid. How dare you bring that up? Make me look bad.
I'm saying he's one of those people you can't do what you normally do to.
But I've been praiseworthy of him.
I don't recall.
Oh, you don't recall. Anyway, 3 reasons why he can't be better than he was last year. Okay. And I'm not saying he's going to fall off the face of the earth. And by the way, Lewis, you were on your
and by better, what do you mean? He can't be better.
I mean, he was great. I mean, last year he was one of the 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, okay, you go ahead.
I just don't think he'd be better. Yeah. 3 reasons. 1, he doesn't have his offensive coordinator.
Okay.
2, the league is going to go to school on him. Everybody knows 2 years ago he wasn't that great. Now they all know how great he is, and they're going to go to school on him a little bit. And 3, their schedule is much harder. They play the Jets, Miami, Buffalo, at Kansas City, San Francisco. The division's a little better with the Giants being. So last year they played Carolina, Houston, the Bears, Detroit. They played a lot of bad teams. This year they played the first place schedule. They play the AFC East, throw in San Francisco and Kansas City.
Okay.
So when you're playing the better opponent, you're not going to be as good as you were last year just because there's a schedule right in front of you.
Yeah.
They got the Ravens. They got a hard schedule, this team. So if you look at schedule, offensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Eagles, and the idea that he's got to drop off a little bit for crying out loud. He was so good last year. So I'm not saying he's going to drop off the face of the earth. I still think he's a very, very good quarterback, and he's probably the best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's going to be better than he was a year ago.
Well, you know what? I'll start by saying this. One, let's talk about character, right? The leaps that he has made already, he's not a finished product. Okay, he still has a lot of runway left that he can still improve. Because the one thing you got to remember about quarterback play now is this. Forget what you've thought about quarterback play in the past. These guys now, with the advances in their training methodology, with the advances from a physical perspective, then from a mental perspective, these guys are making leaps and bounds from high school to college, college to pros, that many people thought was impossible before. Josh Allen really popularized it. Remember, when he came out of college, people were like, look, once you're an inaccurate quarterback, you're always going to be an inaccurate quarterback, and that's not true anymore. That's just not true. When Jalen went from Alabama to Oklahoma to the pros, people thought in his first couple of years, they were like, you know what? He's never really been that great of a passer. He's never going to be that great of a passer. And then what happened? What happened? He put in the work.
Yep.
He utilized the resources that he had, and he made this tremendous jump. Look, he threw for 3,700 yards last year, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You tell me he can't top that, especially considering the fact that I know Shane's not there anymore, Shane Steichen. But Brian Johnson is. Brian was his quarterback last year. Now he's his play caller. Nick is still there, that being Sirianni. AJ is still there. Devontae is still there. Dallas Goedert is still there. Lane Johnson is still there.
Absolutely.
All these people are still there. And on top of it, the number one thing we start off when we're talking about Jalen Hurts is this: character, makeup, work ethic. He's not sitting there going, well, 3,700 yards and almost beating Patrick Mahomes was good. I'm not going to do anything else now. So we said the same thing. Look, we keep thinking right now that Patrick Mahomes can't get any better. He can't get any better. You saw the quarterback series right on Netflix. Do you see what he's doing? Trying to take his game. He's saying, look, there is levels to everything, and I'm trying to break new levels. That's the same kind of DNA this guy has. I'll tell you what, when he came out of college, I was one of the people who doubted Jalen Hurts. I didn't know. If he could be that guy.
Let's slow that.
But I'm saying this.
Okay.
I didn't know if he could be the guy who he showed he was last year. You know why? I misjudged his resilience, competitive character, how he was going to go about trying to improve his game, both physically and cerebrally.
Right.
And he took it to a whole new level.
Right.
And you know what? I'm great with that. And that's why I'm saying he's not a finished product yet.
Listen, we love to break news on First Take. We love to break news. It's very, very important. And the breaking news here is that Louis Riddick admitted that he got one wrong. It just doesn't happen.
Oh, come on.
It just doesn't happen.
That's not true.
It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
That's not true.
It doesn't happen. The fact of the matter is, usually when something happens, Louis like, I told you. I mean, I said it earlier this season.
Hey,
I said it last year. I mean, we hear it. He doesn't usually do this.
Because we live in a world like this. People sit and lay in the weeds.
That's right. Let them lay.
They lay in the weeds just waiting to go, gotcha.
That's
You
right.
were wrong.
That's
and
right.
You can have 20 things right.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, people sit back like this. They sit like this. Like, I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing.
Who would know that feeling more than me? I know.
But you mess up one thing.
I messed up one thing. After getting 99 right, you miss one, and you get judged as if you got it wrong all the time. I have to deal with that every day. Welcome to the big leagues.
Mr. Diggs wasn't pleased with you either.
I could care less. I know what I was told.
And I trust you.
You damn right.
You heard about that one, right?
Oh, yeah. I watched
that was
the
a
show.
big deal here.
I'm not stuttering. I'm not backtracking.
Good boy, I said.
1 inch.
He said what he said.
Listen, I didn't say the man was going to ask to be traded, Stephon Diggs. I didn't say that. What I said was he ain't feeling stuff in Buffalo. He ain't happy with them. And he proved that in the offseason.
True.
He proved that when he came into training camp. But he's under contract. He's not going anywhere. You know you got a stud in Josh Allen. But he feels like they may have missed a window. And that is the sentiment he expressed to people close to him. And it got to me. That is what I said. Period. What's he supposed to do in Buffalo now? I ain't never said that, y'all. I believe in Bill Maher. Of course he's going to say that. What's he supposed to say? I'm not feeling this. I don't think we got to change.
Right.
I think that Cincinnati, Miami,
Right.
I think we missed out. He's supposed to say that? Of course he's going to deny it. I said what I said.
Yeah.
I meant what I meant.
There you go. Look at that. The Hurts, remember one thing about Hurts. You're not the only one who got that wrong.
Yeah.
He got killed for making him a second-round pick because he had Wentz as his quarterback.
That's right.
He got killed with
Hey,
that.
man, they weren't sure if he was going to be the guy either.
Right. And the first year
You know
it
what I
wasn't
mean?
great. 2 years
And that's
ago it wasn't
okay.
great.
No.
It's
So,
okay.
By the way, Doggie's right about something. Philadelphia Eagles, 7 straight playoff teams, weeks 9 to 16.
Hard schedule.
Hey, but you know what?
7 straight playoff teams.
You know what?
They can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't care who Patrick Mahomes plays.
That's right.
Joe Burrow plays.
True.
We don't care who
Whatever.
Jalen Hurts plays.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you,
Oh.
Riddick.
You know
I know
what,
you ain't
though?
complaining. You talk to half
You know
an hour.
what?
You
Hey,
good,
well, that's
man.
what I'm here
You
for.
good. I agree. I ain't knocking
is
it. I'm
first
just
take,
saying.
first
Just
talk.
don't act like you
First
know.
talk.
Don't
First talk.
Don't act like I'm just saying. Don't act like you didn't get time.
And here's the good thing.
I'm going to get some more time. This
Last
right.
year, unlike you with the Wizards, last year he gave me Juju Schuster
What, they're-
over in
Juju
catches
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
the
Super
over-
Bowl
yeah, Schuster.
on the radio.
Hey, look, man.